Don't say почему. If you want to say why, Russian natives don't always go for this почему. Sometimes we have зачем to replace it. Both of these mean why. And if you are always using почему to say why, then most of the time you're making a mistake. What's the reason for that? Why are you making the mistake with this почему, which means why? Почему is used to say what made you do something. So it's the past reasoning. What's the reason in the past that made you do something? While as зачем, it's better translated as what for. So the reason of why you did something is in the future. What's the outcome of your actions? What are you looking to get from this action? So, почему is used to say why, the reasoning is in the past, while зачем means what for, the reasoning is in the future. As you can see, one word in English, why, can have two different translations that are used equally, and sometimes we have to know which one to go for. And of course, it's not the only pair in the Russian language that has the similar kind of characteristic that in English, one word can have two meanings in Russian. Today, we're going to cover 4 more pairs that you can see right here that have a similar thing, where they have one translation in English, but in Russian, multiple words are used to describe that idea. Like this next one. If you want to say first, we have these two, первый and сначала. Первый is used to say first when it's an order of things. First, second, third. Первый. While as сначала is used to say at first, in the beginning, when you want to say I did this first and then I did something else. That's when сначала is used. So this one, сначала, is more like a connector and more of a what I did first than something else. While первый is an order of things. For example, if I said я потерял свой первый телефон. I lost my first phone. I use первый here because it's my first phone. It's my first phone ever. My parents gave it to me and I lost it. It's a first in order, right? I had the second phone, the third phone, the fourth phone in the future, but that one was the first one. I cannot use сначала here because I cannot say I lost my phone in the beginning. It doesn't make any sense. However, what does make sense is сначала я пошел в магазин. At first, I went to the store. And then I went to, the market, and then I went to my parents' house, all of that. Сначала here is used to say in the beginning, at first. Before I did anything else, I did this. Сначала is used just like this to say in the beginning I did something, while первый is an order of things. First, second, third, fourth. And from these two pairs of words, we know that it's important to use certain words with certain context, because if you use a wrong one, you will be misunderstood. And if you guys are looking to expand your vocabulary and get to the new level of Russian vocabulary, like let's say A1 to A2, then check out our Russian stories that we have on our Be Fluent class. We have 12 stories from A1 to A2 to B1 to B2, so you guys can make rapid progress with reading the story, and then you learn the words in that story. Instead of getting some random word list on the internet, you can read something, then learn those words, and then you will understand the story itself. So it's a bit more meaningful vocabulary expansion. And of course, all of them are going to be from A1 to B2 level, so you can make progress. You can level up your vocabulary with these stories. Check it out with the first link in the description. We're gonna have other content there as well, like courses and speaking and listening and Russian cartoons and all of that. Check it out with the first link in the description. Moving on, next pair. We have these two, прошлый and предыдущий. Both can be translated as last or previous. Прошлый, предыдущий. What's the difference between these two? Прошлый means anyone or anything before the current one. Okay? Any past owners of a phone, of a car, any past relationships can be described with this прошлый. While предыдущий is a bit more specific. Предыдущий is one right before the current one. So actually the previous one, the very last one. Maybe if I make a sentence here, it's going to be easier to understand. Let's say I bought a car and I want to talk about previous owners somehow. I can say прошлые владельцы машины, previous car owners or past car owners. Anybody who owned this car before me, 2 people, 5 people, 10 people, can be described as прошлые владельцы машины. If I change this to предыдущий владелец машины. Now this means a previous car owner, the one right before me. Okay? Whoever I bought this car from. If this car was owned by 5, 10, 15 people, I don't describe them with this предыдущий владелец. I only describe the person who owned it right before me. Okay? I can say in other contexts too. Прошлые работы, previous jobs. Предыдущая работа, the very last job that I had before the current one. It can be used in a plethora of other examples or contexts too. This distinction between прошлый, last, or past, I would say, and предыдущий, the previous one, is stark, and you can now know when to use each one of them. However, there's one more word, one more sneaky word that's kind of similar to these, and that is последний. Последний is almost exclusively translated as last. I can say моя последняя девушка, my last girlfriend, okay? Which means I had a number of them. Let's say I had 5. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. Now the fifth one, I can describe her as последняя, last. It doesn't mean that I have a girlfriend now. It doesn't mean that she is the previous one, because if I say previous, that means that I have one right now, and she is the previous one. No, last in order. Maybe you are standing in a line of people, right? And whoever is last, that is последний человек, last person. Okay, so this one doesn't really fit with the previous and the past meaning, right? It simply means the last person in order, or the last object in order. Next pair, or rather a trio, is посмотрим and смотреть and видеть. I put these in the same category because they're going to carry the same exact meaning. I see a lot of students make this mistake. Whenever we say посмотрим, we mean we will see. We'll see something. We'll see if this happens. While as видеть and смотреть are both two verbs that describe literal action of seeing or looking at someone. Посмотрим is exclusive to one phrase. We'll see. We'll see if this happens. We'll see. I don't know right now, but we will see. It's a phrase. In English, it's a phrase. While as видеть and смотреть, видеть means to see, more like a sense kind of a meaning. I have a sense of like a sight, right? While as смотреть is to watch something. So how can we use this in an example in the correct way to use this? For example, you call on the phone to your parents and they say, your job will suck. And you can tell them, посмотрим, я так не думаю. We'll see. I don't think so. I don't think that my job will suck. I am confident that it's going to be okay. Посмотрим, right? We'll see. The future will tell us. Let's say видеть and смотреть actual actions of seeing. Я смотрю фильм. I'm watching a movie. Я смотрю фильм. I'm actually watching it right now. It's not a saying, it's not a phrase. I'm watching it. Also, I can say я не вижу транзакции. I don't see a transaction. Maybe you're on the phone with the bank. Я не вижу транзакции. I don't see this transaction. Again, physically, I don't see it. It's not a phrase anymore. Okay? And then we have another trio of words that look and mean almost the same thing. Другой, разный, and еще один. All of them can be translated as different or another. Okay? But let's break them all down and take them one by one. Let's start with другой. Другой means another or different, meaning that другой is something not the same as something else. It clearly differs. It's something not like this phone. It's different from this phone. They're not the same in their look and their price and all of that. So I can say, я хочу другое мороженое. I want a different ice cream. You bought me vanilla and I want strawberry. Okay? I want a different type of ice cream. So другой means a different type. Something that differs. Think of this. Другой starts with the, and different starts with the as well. So the and the kind of start with the same thing. So whenever you say другой, make sure that you mean different. Something that differs. Okay? Then the next word that we had was разный. And разный means different, but rather various. something that varies. Maybe you come to a store, fruit section, and a person tells you, у нас есть разные фрукты. We have different kinds of fruit. Meaning, we have a large variety. They're all various fruits. Okay? So разные means they are all not the same. Different ones. Not just like one is different from another like we had with другой. This time, we mean various. A lot of different variable fruits in the store, okay? But what does еще один mean? This one means another one more, okay? Let's say I want to say to a waiter, можно мне еще один стакан? Can I have another cup? Can I have one more cup of the same exact drink? Same exact thing that we have, just another one. I had a beer, give me a second beer. Okay, еще один means another one of the same thing. Doesn't mean a different, doesn't mean a various anymore. And in fact, we had a comment that had this mistake. A person said другое полезное видео to mean another useful video. But другое means something is different, it differs. The main thing is that it differs. And someone corrected them and said еще одно полезное видео. Now, еще одно полезное видео is correct. Another one. We had one video that was useful, and then we have another one that is also useful. And that's it, guys. I hope now you know how to use all of these words correctly. Check out our next video with this button right here. Or if you want to take your Russian to the next level and excel in your Russian in the fastest way possible, check out our B-Fluent class with this button right here.